it's the key. No more starving, getting rid of inflammation. Choosing healthy choices, providing you with sound information. Bringing balance to hormones and insulin through food. With DFL, teaching you food choices to see it through. DFL, we're teaching you to eat food right. Teaching you to pair food with each bite. Balancing our body's microbiome, feeling so right. With diet-free life, it helps futures lose pride.
What's up, everybody? This is Robert Ferguson. Yes, yours truly, Roberto Lorenzo Ferguson. And I am coming to you. I was like, I'm going to do a live today. I don't care what I got to do. I'm going to do it, even if I got to do it at 11:01 p.m. We're getting it in, and we're getting it in. So thank you for being here. Woo! Let me tell you, I just got done presenting to a church. So I want to say thank you, Pastor Cynthia. I also want to give a big shout out to my client, Shirley. They made it possible for me to put on that presentation, and I am 1,000% thankful. Now, today in this live, I'm going to share with you some information that I think you'll find interesting. I don't have any videos to play. There's no guest coming on to talk with me. I wish I had someone on to talk with me, but I don't, because I believe they would find this interesting, what I'm going to talk to you about. Now, we do have an 8-week fat loss challenge that is about to start very soon. It kicks off very soon. So register. We have a good amount of people doing the challenge. So it's going to be fun because I'm doing the challenge. I'm ready for the challenge. I had a little setback with my hamstrings the last couple of months. I had so much momentum, and it's like, I can't believe that. And I did everything I could to avoid my little setback. But you know what? It is what it is. I believe that it put me in a position where I could perform and do this challenge with you guys. So I want to invite you to come on board. It's affordable. The price is still good. And as you can see, many people set goals beginning January and they ain't done nothing. But when you're part of a group or a family or a challenge, and you're going to be learning some stuff, this is a good time. This is a good time to do it. Now, before I get into what I want to share with you, that's one. Number two, look at all of the links that I have provided before, because there's an article I want to encourage you to read. The article is about 15 lifelong health risks after 30 that could be prevented, reduced, and avoided. So those of you who are over the age of 50, think about inflammation. Think about some of the challenges that you have, your cholesterol panels, like the health challenges that you're living with. Many of you don't even acknowledge it, right? You're just hoping it doesn't show up, and you only think about it when you have to go back to your doctor, which is really sad. Because many of those people, and I'm talking to you, they go to bed and they don't wake up. It happens all the time. I've been in this space for a long time. It just happens. And we just keep putting off taking care of our health, putting it off, going over trying this, going over trying that. And you never, ever get there. Because part of it is you're doing the wrong thing. And number two, unfortunately, you just like to jump around. It's just like the song. So I don't wish that on anybody. I definitely wouldn't wish it on you. So get back on track. Some of you are my clients, or you used to be my client, and you got off track. You needed to take a break. I don't know what you're going through or what you're doing. I mean, because it could be a lot of things. People have like problems with their spouses, their boyfriend, girlfriend. There's breakups. Money gets tight. Who knows what it is, but I'm inviting you to come back and get on track with our challenge. You can also reach out to me. I have a newsletter. If you want to become a coach, we have some really cool coaches that just came on board. We have some awesome coaches, you guys. We have some big things coming up. And then there's a little presentation on omega-3s and polyphenols that I talk about. It's all there. And if you're not sure where to start, schedule a free consultation with me and I'll help you out. I'll be there for you and I will help you out. Now, the reason why I'm doing this live and what I wanted to talk about on this live is one of my clients. I want to give a shout out to the wife, Terry. Okay, I told Terry I was going to do this. So hello, Terry. And I'm giving a shout out to her hubby. His name is Joey. And Joey, great guy. I've had interaction with him just a little bit. He works out. He takes care of himself. He's really putting in the energy, right? And that's why I titled this, Joey Did Everything Right, So He Thought. Many of you people feel that you're doing everything right. So you think. And unfortunately, sometimes time goes by and then you find out, which is a little sad, that all the energy you put into something to improve your health or to get a certain outcome, it doesn't work out. Well, imagine this, as you can see in my description. Finding out that what you thought was helping your health was actually doing nothing for it. I met with 17 physicians like Joy, and not one of them was aware of what I shared with Joy's wife. Today, all of them are following my advice. You know why? Test-based nutrition doesn't lie. When the results are real, the proof 100% is in the pudding. Okay, so let me break it down for you. I have 17 clients, or 17 of my clients are physicians. 11 of these clients have a family practice. I share with them the importance of omega-6 to omega-3 ratios and this little test we have here that you can do at home to find out where you are with that. And all 17 of those physicians have done the test and are currently using the product that I endorse called the Balance Oil. The reason why all 17 of my clients who are physicians did the test and are now customers and using the oil, the Balance Oil. The reason why? Because it makes sense. Because it works. Now, Joy, who I'm highlighting in this talk, has been using a fish oil because he heard that part of what makes this Balance Oil work is a fish oil, but he's already been taking the fish oil. Now, what Joy doesn't realize is that the fish oil that he's taking doesn't work. It's not going to help him get into what we call the green zone, the area that you all want to be in. Every one of us wants to be in the green zone. Not only you as an adult, but even your kids want to be in the green zone. Now, we're testing kids and they are not looking good. We're testing adults and they're not looking good. Over 1 million people have been tested. And this is what we know to be true. 99% of those people tested in the United States and Canada the numbers are not good. They're wasting their money. They literally should just go in the backyard, or actually it'd be nice if they just went and donated their money to someone because they're wasting their money. The same as many people, when they buy supplements, they're wasting their money. These supplements are not test-based nutrition. As a clinician, I'm all about test-based nutrition. Why? Because it makes sense. If you're taking a supplement and the supplement's supposed to do certain things or help with certain things, wouldn't you want to know if it's actually working? Now, I've shared this with some fitness influencers, some people out here saying they're nutritionists and saying that they're personal trainers and saying that they're health coaches. And they just stare at me and go into, I don't know where they're at, but they're definitely not paying attention because, or they're just ignorant, or just maybe they lack the ability to learn. I don't know, maybe there's something off there. Because when you can do test-based nutrition and you can prove that what you're taking or using is actually working, who would not want to be a part of that? That's why all 17 of my clients who are physicians all said yes, because it makes sense. Now, I'm not going to give you a presentation. I just want to put you in a position where you can use critical thinking when it comes to your health, and you can adopt discernment so that you don't just go for just anything. Because if you go for anything, okay, that's not always a good thing. Sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. And this is why I also put in the description the article that says that after the age of 30, okay, let's say all of you who are when you were 30, some of you are now 40, some are 45, some are 55, some are 60, 70, right? 80. Okay, no matter where you are, okay, because I have two basic questions, okay, or situations. If you're 30 and you know you could potentially avoid a lot of the health conditions you see people in their 50s, 60s, and 70s experiencing, would you want to avoid it? Would you want to reduce the risk of what you see them going through with high blood pressure, triglycerides, inflammation, fibromyalgia, skin conditions, eczema, psoriasis, chicken skin? Like, if you could avoid all of that, would you want to know how? And then the second part of the question would be those who are over 50 and you're experiencing what you're experiencing. Because a lot of you won't tell everybody. You don't wear a sign saying, I have dangerous cholesterol levels. You don't let everybody know that you're walking around taking 3 different blood pressure medications. People see you, they see your pictures on Facebook. It looks like life is great, but you know, you go to bed at night, you have moments where it's like, I'm a little concerned about my situation. And you kind of numb yourself because you really don't want to face it. And nothing seems to be working for you, and you just blame everything on age. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. But I have enough clients and I have worked with thousands of people to know that what I'm saying is true. And many people will hear me talking about some of this stuff, and then they'll snooze me. They'll just go to the next person because they don't want to hear it. They want to sweep it under the rug and not deal with it. And I'm talking about stuff that's real. They want to stay in la la land, which is fine. And everybody has the right to stay in la la land. But here's the reality. If you're over 50 and you're experiencing some of these things I'm talking about, gout, lupus, Hashimoto's, almost everything that deals with inflammation, having a challenging time losing weight, more insulin resistance you're experiencing, metabolic syndrome is real for you. If you went back to 30, I know that you had insufficient levels of omega-3 on a cellular level. We know this because people have been tested. And we know that if you live long enough, let's say from your 30s to 50s, 60s, 70s, and you have insufficient levels of omega-3 in your body, we know because we can do a test, you will, not may, if you live long enough, experience those things that you are experiencing. And many of them are linked to insufficient levels of omega-3. Let's take vertigo, for instance. I've witnessed 3 people in the last 9 months who used to have vertigo, but they don't anymore because they're no longer insufficient when it comes to their levels of omega-3 in their tests. And vertigo's gone. I watched people see major breakthroughs with certain parts of their health because they're no longer insufficient when it comes to their level of omega-3 on a cellular level, the red blood cell. We know. We have seen people no longer have eczema. The only thing they changed in their life was that they are no longer insufficient with their levels of omega-3. We've watched people have better cognitive function. Memory gets better, less brain fog, because they no longer have insufficient levels of omega-3. And then you have Joy, who goes and buys a fish oil. And when we test Joy, his numbers aren't good. So he's been wasting his money because the fish oil that he's using, the omega-3 that he's using, is not balanced oil. It doesn't have the proprietary properties, ingredients that make it work. How do we know it will make it work? We have a test, and it's a scientifically validated test from the world's leading laboratory, a laboratory that the Cleveland Clinic uses, the Mayo Clinic uses, the National Institute of Health uses, the World Health Organization uses, the same lab that Harvard Public Health uses is where this test goes. So if you say the test is not real, then that means you're saying Harvard Public Health is not real, Cleveland Clinic's not real, Mayo Clinic's not real, Tufts University's not real, World Health Organization is not real. How can they all not be real? They are like some of the most credible researching organizations in the world, and they go to the same lab. So the lab tests Joy's fish oil that he bought at Walmart or wherever he bought it. The results are not good. Then Joy starts using this. He gets tested. His results are good. Same thing happens to Amy. Same thing happens to Susie. Same thing happens to me. Same thing happens to my daughter. Same thing happens to everybody that I have introduced this to. You can't argue it. Now, you could be the kind of person that says, I'm good at it. I don't need that. Okay. I would never want to do work with someone that thinks like that. Like I have an insurance guy. He sells insurance. And I met with a woman not long ago who sells insurance. And they both want me to buy insurance. And so in my conversations with them, I share with them the importance of omega-6 to 3, and they act like they kind of understood. I talked about omega-3 and how you on the cellular level, it's very important that you have a good amount in your body because it makes it where your cell membranes can receive more nutrients, and waste that builds up can leave easier, which then ties into what they call mitochondria health, which ties into ATP, adenosine triphosphate, which plays a role in our energy and all of these things, right? So the importance is obvious, is there. And I couldn't buy insurance from them. I don't even want to work with them. Not because I want them to become my customer and buy this test and the product through me, but because they don't see the value in real health. How can I buy insurance from you and I share something with you as a person who's in the medical field and you don't see the value in that, but yet you want to sell me health insurance? No. And they know who they are. There's no way. When I meet someone who's a network marketer, right? And they're really into network marketing and they're doing great and they work for a company, whatever the company is. And I share with them this test and I share with them this product, and they don't have this test and they don't have this product. And they may be selling a protein powder. They may be selling a collagen. They may be selling all these other things that can maybe make you look a little better and have all these claims, but nothing that they're selling is as important as this test and the product that I endorse. Nothing. They may say they have an omega-3 or a fish oil. Let's put it to the test. Let's test it. And we've tested a lot of them. They all fail. So why wouldn't they buy my test and my product when it's clearly evident that it has a higher level of efficacy? I would maybe be interested in their product and maybe want to support them. But when they look at the evidence level of what I'm making available and they choose not to buy it, they're either extremely ignorant, which just means they're unaware, they're willfully ignorant, they're obstinate, meaning they're stiff-necked and don't want to look at their bias. They have they don't care. And if they don't care, that means they're not looking out for health. They're just trying to sell me their product. If I was selling a product and I learned about this test and I knew the importance of omega-6 to 3 ratios and arachidonic acid and omega-3 index percentage, and there's a way to get a test and there's a way to know, are you kidding me? Now, that's because I'm informed. And if they don't see that, that just means that they're not informed. So why would I want anything from anyone that sells any part of health when they don't have what I have? And it's extremely important, very important when it comes to optimizing health. In the words of Dr. Andrew Wild, you cannot be in optimal health when you don't have an adequate intake of omega-3. You cannot. So you can take every supplement in the world. You can eat as clean all day, every day. But when we do your tests, you're not going to be in balance. You're not. Now, let's say they choose, well, I don't need it for me. I don't care. Okay, maybe they don't care about their health. They don't get the connection. Why would they not tell all of their clients about this? This is when you start to see how people are as fake as they come. And some of you just follow fake people, and you like following fake people. You get caught up in the hype. You get caught up in like how many people follow them. Yay, I'm following them and I'm going to get healthier. I'm going to do this and do that. And I'm going to eat this because they said it's a good energy bar. I'm going to try this shake because they said. And there's no test-based nutrition. Lord, help me help these people. I'm not saying don't support them. I'm not saying don't buy things from them. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is become your own health advocate. You can be like Joey and think you're doing everything right, only to find out that you wasted your time and your money, and you didn't reduce your risk of all the things that are going to come into your life the longer you live because you have insufficient levels of omega-3. Now, the cool part, as I mentioned earlier, I put this in front of 17 of my clients who are physicians. Now, they're paying me because I'm coaching them. And the time came where I was like, hey, today I want to share with you, because when we do coaching, we make it where people learn, right? We want you to learn something every time we have a coaching session. Maybe it's something that's reminding you, like a reminder, reinforce what you already know. But oftentimes there's things that you learned that maybe you didn't know. And so the time came for me to talk to these physicians about omega-6 to 3. So I'm going to share this with you. You ready? And this is interesting. It's interesting because of how I actually shared it. So I touched on it a little earlier, but I'm going to share with you the sequence of how I shared it. And I want you to become the physician. So be the physician, and I am going to talk to you like you're my client, the way I talk to each one of these 17 physicians, because I believe it's the sequence of what I shared with them, the questions that I asked them, that got them to the point where they were in full agreement with a whole bunch of things that I'm going to walk you through. And then when I put it in front of them to become a customer, they all said yes. And why? Moving forward, it made sense. It made sense. And they have critical thinking. They have discernment. They're intelligent. We know they are. They went to med school. They graduated. They're doing what they do. So this is what I said. Okay, you ready? You ready? Let's do this. I said, all right, so today we're going to talk about omega-6 to omega-3 ratios. Are you familiar with that? Or I said, maybe, I'm sure you're familiar with that. And they said, yes. Now, I don't know if they were or not, but I'm just sharing with you. They all said yes. I said, now the National Institute of Health agrees with what you just said, meaning omega-6 to 3 ratios are very important and everyone would benefit from knowing them. And they recommend that it would be in a certain range. For the most part, we're going to say 3 to 1. So 3 would be omega-6, 1 would be omega-3. That's the ratio. If you start getting above that, which the average American is around 20, 25 to 1, which is not good. That's in the danger zone. Now, some organizations will say 5 to 1 or lower, 4 to 1 or lower. So the very highest is 5 to 1 or lower. But I said the National Institute of Health is in agreement with you. The World Health Organization is also in agreement with you. The Tufts University is in agreement with you. Harvard Public Health is in agreement with you. Many European organizations and universities are in agreement with you. So we're in agreement that it's important to know one's omega-6 to omega-3 ratios. And they said yes. Okay. I said, and we live in a world right now where we're probably not getting enough omega-3, which could be part of the problem. And you agree that omega-3s are known for helping to reduce inflammation in the body. And they said yes. And I said, now there's an argument about omega-6 that we're getting too much of it. Some people call them seed oils or vegetable oils because they're high in linoleic acid. And that plays a role in why the ratios, the gap is so big, right? 20 to 1, 25 to 1. So we would probably do well to maybe cut back on our omega-6 and work hard to increase our omega-3. Would you agree? And they said yes. All 17 of them said yes. And I'm assuming at this point that they're fully aware of all of the health conditions that can come about when you're not in balance, meaning the ratios are out of balance. Otherwise, why would the National Institute of Health and the World Organization, why would they all be talking about the importance of not letting it get so wide? So I assumed that part. And after I got all of those yeses, I looked at each one of them or talked to each one of them. And I said, do you currently coach or test your patients for their omega-6 to 3 ratios? Do you currently coach your patients on their omega-6 to 3 ratios? Knowing of the importance, you agreed to the importance. You agreed that the National Institute of Health, the World Health Organization, everybody is in full agreement that it's important to know your omega-6 to 3 ratios. It's important to know your omega-3, how much you have. And that is, we cannot be in optimal health without making sure we have an adequate amount of omega-3. All 17 doctors are in full agreement with me until I asked the question, do you currently test your patients' omega-6 to 3 ratio? All 17 said no. How can something, when it pertains to your health and my health, be of such importance and we don't test it? I would love to hear your thoughts, you guys. How can something be that important, which they all were in full agreement, and I'm not throwing my clients under the bus. They're all my clients. I will coach these people for a long time. They all agreed it was important, but yet none of them test for it. Then I show them our tests. That's why this makes sense. The reason why they don't test, you guys, is because they don't get paid to do that test. It's not that they couldn't do a test. Now, they don't do this test, which is called a DBS test, a dried blood spot test, which is way better than a plasma test when they draw blood. Because what you draw in blood is is based on what you ate the day before and the day before that. And if you hadn't had some omega-3s in your body, then things would be off. But this is testing on the cell membrane, similar to a hemoglobin A1C test. Accurate. It made sense, so all 17 of them got the test, and all 17 of them became a customer using this product. Why this product? And some of them were taking other fish oils because I shared with them and showed them the data. The other fish oils and omega-3s are not going to help them the way this is. So in 4 months, all 17 of these doctors will get a free test. So we can do a comparison of where they were there before and thereafter. 120 days. Why 120 days? Because that's the life of a red blood cell. That's the turnover, plus or minus 20 days. Guys, this is a game changer. So many of you would be in a much healthier place if you were not living with insufficient levels of omega-3. We know you are insufficient because we have a test. And don't be afraid of the test. Get tested so you can do something about your situation, and you can avoid many things that will come about when you live long enough with insufficient levels. It's your destiny, right? It's kind of like if a person has to go on dialysis. You're not going on trips. You're not getting on planes. Life has changed for you once you start dialysis. It's sad, but hey, you get to live. A lot of things will never be the same. And your quality of life is going to suffer. And you can see the end. If something else doesn't take you out, you only can live so long on dialysis. So if you could avoid dialysis, let's avoid it. If you could avoid those 15 conditions that I listed in my paper, in my article, then why wouldn't we? Now, I didn't say you were deficient in omega-3, because if you are deficient, that could lead to you not being alive. Same as deficient in omega-6, because they're both essential, meaning you must consume them to live. But when you don't have adequate intake of it, you are living with suboptimal levels of omega-3, then you become prone to a lot of challenges. Let me give you an example. One of my clients has battled with low levels of iron, and they find themselves having to get iron infusions. And when this happens and you're anemic, people are tired. It's a horrible place to be. You're trying to do it through food. You're eating everything that has iron. Everybody's trying to get iron. Eat iron, eat iron, eat iron. Take a supplement, iron. Get infusion, iron. We did my client's tests. They were insufficient with levels of omega-3. I then share with them that when you don't have sufficient levels of omega-3, you reduce how much iron you can absorb into your body because of that insufficient amount of omega-3. So instead of taking in more iron, let's get your levels of omega-3 up so you can absorb the iron that you're taking in. And guess what the outcome is? They no longer have to get iron infusions because they're absorbing iron, because they no longer are compromised with the absorption of iron, because they have enough omega-3. You can't make this stuff up. My thought is, why isn't their doctor telling them this? You can go to Google Scholar, go to PubMed, Go to the physician desk reference. Look it up. Right there. Why am I sharing that with you and your doctor hasn't? So take this information to your doctor. When I write an article, print it out, take it to your doctor. If you email me and have questions, I will email you back with information. Take it to your doctor. And I believe, like my 17 physicians who are my clients, when you share information with them, they're humble and they're open. And the way I write these articles, I write them so that the doctor will be thankful because the references are there. It's written in a way where it makes sense. There's no outrageous, crazy claims. It's all based on the facts. So how many people are walking around trying to figure out how to fix their situation, and they don't even realize it may be the situation they're dealing with? It may be the result of living with insufficient levels of omega-3. And the good news, all you got to do is do a test. Prick your finger, put it on the test, let it dry, whoop, put it in the mail, self-addressed envelope. 10 to 20 days later, business days, you got your results. And then you know, and you don't have to guess. I don't think there's anything else to say. I know there is. Joey, I'm proud of you, man. I'm looking forward to helping you out. We're going to get you back in the balance. We're going to know because we're going to do a test, and then you don't have to ever guess again. Okay. I'm going to take a look and see if I got some questions because I get questions that come from LinkedIn. We get questions that come from all these different places. And I miss a lot of them because for some reason our software does not always have it pop up. So let me take a quick look. And we got it in. And let me also invite you again. I'm inviting you again. We have the 8-week fat loss challenge. It starts, we got about 10 days before this thing launches. So get on board. I can't wait to see you there. We'll have some fun and we'll get it done and we will rock and roll. Let me see here. Do we have any questions that are popping up for me? Okay. I'm not saying. Okay, Chanel, I'm glad I caught you on Facebook. Let's see here. Let me turn this off. Sandy, I'm glad you caught me on YouTube. Charlie, I'm glad you caught me on LinkedIn. It's been a blast. And you know what? Hey, this video is here. So you can always go back to it, listen to it again, replay. But that's my story. And you know what? I'm sticking to it. We're at a place now where the world is in need of better health. And I want to help as many people as possible. And a lot of the people that we can help are people that we literally can help. And we can back up the help by showing them the test so they know where they are. And then we can give them a solution on how they can test again in 4 months and see with their own eyes that what they had been taking that we recommend to them actually moves them from the red, the danger zone, to the green, the safe zone. Anyway, I'm Robert Ferguson. I share because I care. If you want to contact me, learn more, look at the description underneath. There's links and recommendations there. You can also go to my website at dietfreelife.com. And as always, I will see you mañana. Until then, peace out.
In a world of diets, there's a new way to see. No more counting calories, just living free. Ferguson's got the plan you need. With diet-free life, it's the key. No more starving, getting rid of inflammation. Choosing healthy choices, providing you with sound information. Bringing balance to hormones and insulin through food. With DFL, teaching you food choices to see you through. DFL, we're teaching you to eat food right. Teaching you to pair food with each bite. Balancing our body's microbiome, feeling so right.